Well, it's Uncommon Fossil Day presenting a budget upgrade to the Charizard EX Star deck. And in fact, that's not even correct. That's underselling it. This is 100%. Don't have to spend any resources. You don't need to spend any crystals. You don't have to spend any credits. I'm upgrading the Charizard starter deck only using cards from the other starter deck. So make this upgrade your first day you log into live. This is, look, Charizard EX I think is the best of the starter decks in general. A great place to start with. And just make these upgrades to it. The deck will be better. So let me walk through the deck, the changes I made, and then after that we'll go through some gameplay. So it still features 3 copies of Charizard EX. It's really good. 330 HP, nice and tanky. That's one of the things. Burning Darkness does 180 to start with for 2 fire energy. It does 30 more for each prize card taken. So one of the tricky things, you always have certain key things you need to figure out, especially if you're a newer player to Pokemon TCG, which is kind of what this video's focusing on as well. You're not going to one-shot the big HP Pokemon early. So trying to figure that out, when is it okay to take the 180? When do you need to try to retreat him to the bench, your Charizard EX, so you give up a prize or 2 so you can get the one-shot? That's all part of what you're figuring out with this deck. So that's one of the things. Just be aware of the damage you're doing now with the 180, and then 30 more for each prize card, take what you're going to do in the future, and you got to map out those prize cards, how you can do it. So that's one of the challenges. But it's Charizard EX, super, super good. Keeping 4 of the Charmanders came, the 4 Charmanders that came in the starter deck. There's other Charmanders, and you might want an optimized list, might have a mix of different Charmanders, but you know what? This is what we have, and it's fine. It's pretty good. It's 70 HP. You want to be above 60 because of Dragapult, which knocks out a 60 HP Pokemon on the bench, and you'll cry when they do that, when you have no Charizard or Charmander to attack the following turn. So 4 copies of that, and then 1 copy of the Charmeleon. I believe that the old list had 2. I've cut it to 1. The old list relied on Team Evolution, a tool. I've cut it from the list because it doesn't need it. But I think 1 copy of the Stage 1 is still useful. And also, we're limited in the amount of cards we can add. There's other cards I would like to have added to the deck, but I can't. But going from 2 to 1 Charmeleon makes the deck, gives up deck space. So, frees up deck space. Having 2 copies of Pidgeot EX, same as before, super, super awesome. You can attack with it, but you don't really do that. But quick search your deck for any 1 card once per turn. Super awesome. You can only use 1 quick search per turn, so even if you get a second Pidgeot EX into play, you can't use quick search twice, so keep that in mind. 2 copies of the Stage 1, and only 1 copy of the Pidgeotto. The original list had 2. Again, we don't need 2 copies. We're primarily using Rare Candy. And this is, if you wanted to add another card, this is probably the card I would cut first. But look, reasons are, first, it protects against TM Devolution. If you're not familiar with that, don't worry about that now. You'll find out about it eventually when you're playing games, someday, probably. But Pidgeotto gives you free retreat, and lets you evolve without Rare Candy. It takes longer, but it's still, I think, a useful card. So 2 copies down to 1 copy there. All the other Pokemon, I cut the Moltres in the deck because I don't think that was necessary. All the other Pokemon in the deck are the same. Then I've added 3 Pokemon. So which actually essentially replaces the 3 Pokemon I've recut in the deck, the Moltres and the 1 Charmeleon, the 1 Pidgeotto. So I've added a 1/1 Bibarel line. A Bibarel's super awesome. And the decks used to play a 1/1 Bibarel line. The top decks don't now, but it's still very good in the deck. Gives you another engine piece. It's got Industrious Incisors ability. Once during your turn, you can draw. You have 5 cards in hand. Very good, especially, look, it's good. It gives you another engine to set up that you don't need Rare Candy for. It's Stage 1. And what it allows you to do, especially late game, if you get Iono down to like just a couple cards in hand, you Bibarel, get a bunch of cards, and then you use your Pidgeot EX to search for 1 card. Because if you have a very small hand size, a lot of times you might need 2 pieces. Pidgeotto, the Pidgeot EX isn't going to be good enough for that. So getting this in play is good. You're going to want to pay attention. It's a 1/1 line. So one of the things you're going to want to do in the games is check your prizes. That's one of the things you're learning as well. You're not going to, look, ideally, you know exactly what your 6 prizes are. You could do that. And top players can do that pretty well. You have to know your 60-card list. You have to be able to look through when you do a deck search, really quickly figure it out. I don't do that, but you want to figure out, to me, what are key pieces to be aware of. So like when you play a card to put Bidoof in play, always look through the deck, make sure Bibarel's in it. If Bibarel's prized, you probably don't play Bidoof and such. So just be aware of, there's a 1/1 line, so you just want to be aware of what you have access to, and a copy of Lumineon V. We can't attack with this, but its ability is very good. Luminous Signs, when you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench during your turn, you can search your deck for a supporter card and put it into hand. Very, very useful. There's a cards like Forest Seal Stone that would be good to go with it, but we don't have that, so I think Lumineon V still makes the deck better. It's an on-playability, so do not put it into play with Nest Ball. You'll be very sad because you put this 2-prize liability onto the bench, and you don't get to use the ability. It has to be when it plays from your hand on to the bench, not goes into play through something like Nest Ball. The energies, the original list had 10 energies. Now this is cut down to 6. That's what most lists play, and have played for a while. So I've cut it to 6. If you really are nervous about it, you can add a 7th. 6 works. Look, my personal preferences, and I also know my own personal weaknesses as well. I'm always worried about running out of energy. I always like to put extra energy in, but 6 is okay. You can get by with it. And if I say you can get by with 6 energy, you should believe it, because I'm always one to put more energy, push extra energy in. It's good if you're a new player. You're going to have to be careful with the energy too. This is another thing to be aware of when you're looking through your deck early on. You want to check the energies. You know you have 6 in deck, so you want to know how many are prized. Always, that's one of the things I want to know in the deck. How many energies are prized? Because I want to be able to power up my Charizards. Now, potentially, you attack with 3 Charizard EXs. If they knock out 2, you can still attack with a 3rd one before they take their 6 prizes. So you might use all 6 energy, but for a couple things, we can recover energies. And most games, you're just attacking with 2 Charizard EXs. It's very rare, I find, that you can attack with a 3rd Charizard EX. So you usually don't need to if you're winning the game. So 6 energies is enough. Just be aware of it. That's something else just to keep track of. All right, so getting into the trainers, added a few new trainers and took a few out. So just getting to the changes, I cut Professor's Research. It's a good card, but I don't love it in a deck with Rare Candy. Rare Candies are super important in a deck like this. It always seems like when I have Professor's Research to play, I have Rare Candy and I'm losing resources I don't want to. So, I cut that. Most Charizard decks don't play it anyway. So you could put 1 in if you wanted it as an option to search with Pidgeot late game, but usually Research isn't what this deck wants. But what I did is, because I cut the 2 Research, I then increased my Iono count to 4. And Iono is just really good. So, so 4 Ionos, because I don't have to discard. It's good early game, gets me 6 fresh cards, can do some disruption late game. Just really good supporter there. So it just helps the deck run there. And then I had the 3 TM Evolutions of the deck. It was really a TM Evolution build of the deck, and it's not like the worst idea, but it's not the best idea either, so I cut those out. You want to go first with this deck. With the old build, you want it to go second. This deck, when you win the coin flip, go first whenever you have the choice. So getting into the other cards I added 1 copy of Professor Turo's Scenario. You put one of your Pokemon in play into your hand. It lets you get your Lumineon V out of play after you've played it, so you don't have that 2-prize liability. It's useful there. You can actually then reuse Lumineon V a following turn as well. That's nice. And then also you have your Charizard EX that's damaged. You don't want to give the 2 prizes at some point, because you're not getting one shot a lot all the time. So you can scoop up a Charizard EX that's been damaged, put it to hand. The energies go in the discard pile, the Pokemon go into hand. So just be aware of that, what happens to the energy. And also, at times, the Bibarel is at retreat cost of 2. Opponents will like to stall that in the active sometimes. So getting that out of play with Professor Turo's Scenario is useful. You can either choose to play down the basic again to get evolving, or just keep it out of play depending on the scenario. So Professor Turo's Scenario, a useful card again. You'll have to get time. It'll take time to figure out the best way to play it. 1 copy of Pal Pad, just a really good card there as well. You shuffle up 2 supporter cards from your disc pile into your deck, so just helps you get back the supporters you want. So useful there. Then 1 copy of Lost Vacuum, a really important card for a number of matchups. You play this item, and then you put 1 card from hand in the Lost Zone, and then you remove a tool or a stadium that's in play and put it in the Lost Zone. So can be very important there. So that's good. And because I didn't have other good cards, I gotta say, and just because it helps make a deck a little more consistent, I put 4 copies of Trekking Shoes. I don't remember what. It's useful, right? You look at the top card of your deck you're not familiar with, you can put that card into your hand. If not, you can discard it. So it always replaces itself. So in a sense, Trekking Shoes, worst case scenario, takes a 60 card deck and it makes it essentially a 56 card deck. So therefore you've increased your consistency some, and sometimes you'll discard the card rather than put it into hand. So you even see an extra, and even, you know, another card beyond that. So it's useful. It's just a way of, I didn't have other good cards that made the deck better. So it does make the Trekking Shoes is better than a completely useless card, I will say. You could cut Trekking Shoes as you have other cards you want to add. You know, it's really the trainers. Look, if you're making the deck better, I'll just say this. You want Rotom V, super awesome. Forest Silstone, super awesome. And there's some other, you want Collapse Stadium. I'm trying to think what else we got here. There's a couple of the trainers. And honestly, the Duskull, Dusclops, Dusknoir line is very important, but that makes the deck harder to play too. So if you're a new player, don't worry about the Dusknoir line, I will say, because you're probably more prone to make misplays and lose games in the process. You have enough things if you're a new player within this deck to learn the interactions of how to optimize this deck. So just get, you know, this is a great place to get started. I think it takes what's a very good starter deck, makes it definitely better. More consistent. You'll be glad you made these changes, I think. So let's go take a look at the deck now in action. All right, let's see what happens here. It was a longish introduction, longer than most deck overview introductions, I would say. But again, this is kind of the first. All right, I want to go first. Like I said, with this deck, it wants to go first. So that's great. I'm always good to win the coin flip, or coin toss. Anyway, I'm taking a mulligan. At some point, let me know if you're a beginner, a new player, what things you want some information on. I've done some beginner videos in the past. Haven't done it in a while, though. Opponent is sad about something. Don't know what. But we'll find out. So they started something they didn't want to, I suppose. All right, so starting Charmeleon, got Buddy-Buddy Poffin, so not a bad start there. So I'll have to kind of think through what I want to do here. Arven, Iono, a Bibarel, a Radiant Sneasler. Okay, so all right, so I'm going to, I think, do this and this. Hopefully I don't get knocked out, though. If I get knocked out, there's a decent chance they can knock me out, right? Maybe I want to put down, I'm going to keep the Bidoof because I have Bibarel. That's what I'm thinking. And I'm just going to do this. And I'm going to attach an energy to my Charmander on the bench, because I do accelerate energy to Charizard. That's one of the things. I don't have to worry about powering up the Charizard. That's part of what makes Charizard great as well. I don't think I said that in the intro. It powers itself up. Super, super awesome. It's also partly why you only need 6 energies. One of the reasons you need like 10, 12 energies, I think, in most decks, is because you need to draw into energies. So, okay, so, all right, so it's the Hydreigon deck, which is very annoying. It attacks decently and mills. That's not a good feeling. So I just need to get set up. I'd like to, hopefully I get a Pidgey, you know, not putting the Pidgey down. So I don't think they're taking the knockout this turn. I was concerned it was like possibly a Roaring Moon or Ancient Box deck. And then, because they have the ability to one-shot my Charmander. So one of the things is how does your deck work, and then also learning how the other decks work, and then trying to read what your opponent's deck is as quickly as possible. If I had identified their deck better, I would have got the Pidgey down instead of the Charmander. But you know, the risk I would play is if I don't have. All right, so hopefully I get the knockout here, and I'll be happy. So get him. So I have knockout, right? I have Rare Candy this turn. I just Rare Candy because I already have. Let me just check my energies. Always, you know, try to prioritize what I want to look at. Again, it's good to kind of skim through, but I'm not going to memorize what's all here. So I just want to make sure I have energies to accelerate, and I have 4 energies. So that means 1 energy is prized too, right? I didn't nothing. So that's, you know, so that's just useful to know. And then I will get a couple cards with the barrel after this, but you want to play as many cards from hand before I do the Bibarel play, because I get more cards, which is why I wanted to play the Arven. And the deck only plays 1 tool, so Arven doesn't have a ton of value. So I'll draw 2 cards. And okay, that's good too. So I can get down. Do I want to slap down 2 Pidgeys or 1? I'm going to put down 1 Pidgey. I'm not sure about that one. I maybe should have done 2. Anyway, I'm taking the knockout, which is great. So getting pressure on my opponent. Just not want to overfill the bench is what I'm at there. So, but, you know, hey, okay, rare. This is good. So this means I can I now have the cards to get. Now I forget what he evolves into. See, I'm not good with all these Pokemon and what they do. So and become. So wait, what? Dialga. All right, Dialga. All right, so Hydreigon, which right, it uses a mix of energies. So far, I've just seen Darkness Energy. I don't know. So okay. I mean, surprised by Dialga. I will say that. Oh, look, I enjoy playing different decks. It's a lot of fun. So I'm so for opponents that want to play a mix of things, great for them as well, for sure. So it's Roaring Moon. I'm confused. Dialga's scary, the Dialga V-Star, because they get to attack and then take another turn immediately. So it's not just attacking twice, but I believe it's 2 turns in a row. All right, so they got back the Sneasler and their energies. Of course, it means they can't Dark Patch, and they can't use the Professor Sada's Vitality until, okay, I mean, going with Dialga. All right. How do I want to work this? I don't. So I want to discard. I want to get my. I'm going to take the risky play and get rid of these supporters. I want to keep the Switch because stalling is a problem sometimes, and the Rod could be good. So it's kind of a bad thing there, but I have the Rare Candy. So I would really like to get my Pidgeot down. And that's super awesome. Do this play, and now at this point I play I use the Bibarel's ability because that just gets me random cards, right? So sequencing Bibarel first, then Pidgeot EX. I took a risk with what I discarded, or actually I think I was just very conservative with that. So anyway, my opponent obviously wasn't happy from the start of the game with things went for them and got the W. So the deck performed very well. All right, got to win the first game trying to record for this video, and hopefully the deck works well again. We'll go first if I get the choice. If not, you work with what you got. The original build was built to go second, but you really, going first means you're attacking, meaning for damage on your quicker, right? On your this is okay. It's not ideal, but it's not the worst thing in the world. I have Buddy-Buddy Poffin. I can get down a Charmander and a Pidgey. So, and I have to switch out the Bidoof, but I can deal with that. So, that's really nice there. Right, hopefully I have Bibarel on the deck too. Super nice there. What do I want to chuck down? I don't think I mean, Manaphy helps against Pheasantipity. I don't know that I want to fill up the bench space, but I want to get down. I want another Charmander for sure, because if they take out my Charmander, I can't attack. So getting a second Charmander down is really good. And I think I want to leave the bench spaces open. That's what I'm thinking. So I'm just going to do this and enter. I don't have energy in play, but again, because Charizard, as long as I can evolve to Charizard, he powers himself up. I don't have to worry about that. Now, if you use the Team Evolution, if you evolve into the Charizard EX, you don't get to use the ability to power yourself up. That's another downside to that. All right, Artisan. All right, that's good because I was like, because I wasted part of the Buddy-Buddy Poffin. So it's Dragapult. So this is all right. So I don't want Manaphy down, and this is where the 70 HP Charmander is important over the 60, because the Charmander gets knocked out by him. So they're going to get an energy, I guess, and attack, but that doesn't really matter. I have to switch, though. I have to switch this turn. So, I got to think. I could play Arven, and I might just do that because I can manually retreat. I Iono, which is a risk. What did they grab? I should pay attention to what they're doing. They are Arven for rescue board. Okay, because that might be their only tool in Rare Candy. So Iono would be nice, right? Because they grabbed a Rare Candy that they're not going to use. And I don't think they grabbed 2 cards of the Arven they're not going to use, probably, right? They're not going to rescue. Oh, no, they attached the rescue board. Okay. But, so I Rare Candy. Let's see what I draw. Iono. So I do that. That's good. I grab a Rare Candy here. I mean, I'm going to take the knockout, right? So I think I might just kind of have game. Because I don't get the Ultra Ball because I don't want to discard cards. Just take a look at my energies. I mean, so 5 energy. So 1 energy is prized. That's okay there. I will do this and grab my Charizard EX. And I will put 1 energy on the active because I need to retreat. So I need to get my Bidoof out of the active. So the best way to do that is retreat. So 1, 2, 3, 2 to go on the Charizard. This is where the Charizard's ability, I think, is a bit unfair. I gotta say, I'm enjoying it. It's to my good, the unfairness, right? So I'm gonna take out. So they're not gonna attack next turn. Oh wait, he can attack. He can retreat, right? Yeah. Okay. Somehow the I don't know. It looked like I wasn't gonna let me retreat. So play him. That's super awesome. And what do I want to get? I should get something in play. I mean, it also, even if you don't want to do something you're not sure, you can always look through your deck. So I think I'll drop down another Charmander. Yeah, I'll just slap down another Charmander. They can start softening him up, which is okay. Yeah, and I take the knock. Actually, they can't attack next turn, really. Pheasantipity potentially could. I don't think they can power him up to attack. So anyway, so that's a huge. So got a really good start this game, is what I'd say. So, and Radiant Charizard's still a super good attacker. So we'll see what happens here. They didn't get a good start, so I might want to Iono. I definitely don't want Iono probably because they didn't have good cards last turn. Actually, at this point, if they only get the 1 Dreepy down, I grab a boss and take him out, right? So, and they probably want to keep the Dreepy on the bench. Hopefully they just pass this turn and I grab a boss and knock them out. I don't have an ace-spec in the deck because I don't have an ace-spec in the starter decks. You want to get an ace-spec into your decks. Unfair Stamp's the most common one for Charizard, but Prime Catcher might actually be better depending how you look at it. So my opponents, hopefully they're still playing, right? They're in a bad spot, so they conceded. They were thinking through what to do. So I got a good start. My opponent, got a solid start, and my opponent got a very bad start. And they basically knew I was going to take out that Dreepy, and they had nothing to do. So anyway, deck performing very, very nicely there. All right, let's see what happens here. 2 for 2 with the first games for this video. That's always nice to see. And I need to my challenge is to play 3 supporters. Actually, both challenges are the same. I always like it when that happens. It's easy to make progress there. But I think I've only played 1 supporter over the course of these 2 games, and they both were wins. And usually, that means things are usually things will be going very badly when you don't play many supporters. But in this case, the games have gotten strong, and I've just run over my opponents. So great. So we'll see what happens here. Starting Pidgey. Okay, that's okay. I don't want to start Radiant Charizard. His retreat cost is high. Goldango. Goldango's ooh, okay, and is tough because he can one-shot me. Goldangos can one-shot. It's not going to be easy. So I need to get going. I need a good turn 1. I need a good couple mulligans, liking that. Okay. And also Radiant Charizard will one-shot the Goldango at some point. So that's super awesome. So what I want to use is Trekking Shoes first. It's random. I can live without the energy probably. Another Trekking Shoes, that's always good too. Lumineon V. What do I want? I'm going to take him because I don't have a supporter in hand right now. So I might need him next turn. I don't want to play him because they're going to blow him up easily. So let's take a look. Partly want to take a look at... And I have a Pidgey. Probably 2 Charmanders. I want to check about Bibarel. Bibarel is there. Okay, because I have Bidoof in hand, right? So let me just take a quick peek here. Let me peek at the energy situation. I had 3. Ooh, okay, so 4. So 1's prized. I'll be okay, but it's not ideal. That's what I'll say. Not ideal. Okay, and Pidgeot EX has free retreat. I actually am in pretty good shape here. So just attach here and say end turn. I have the rod. I don't want to rod for just 1 energy because I might need multiple. I'd rather rod later when I get more energies or Pokemon, right? So Pheasantipity, okay. I mean, and I can't one-shot the Pheasantipity. The Togepi I one-shot, and he does healing, right? So Gimmighoul, I mean, ideally I'd take out the Gimmighoul if they only get one in play. That would be super awesome. They benched the Manaphy. I guess maybe they're thinking I play Dragapult as well. No, Manaphy doesn't help with Dragapult. Sorry, don't make that mistake. Hopefully, the more they discard energies, I mean, look, they get all these energies back with the Super Rod, but it means they have to use more Super Rod. So hopefully, if they have to dig hard to get energies. So what I want to do here, if they don't get another Gimmighoul down, I really want to take him out, really badly, really, really badly. So so if I get the Pidgeot into play, then I have to play the Lumineon V, I think, right? But I can Ultra Ball, get rid of. I can get rid of the Iono, right? Do I need Lost Vacuum? I'll get rid of this, and then I can grab the Charizard. I can get the Pidgeot EX, which also gives me the free retreat, which I need as well. And then I can use Lumineon V to get a Rare Candy. No, wait, I made a mistake, right? Yeah, I can't now take the boss. That's right. So I misplayed things. So I get Rare Candy here, I guess. So I have access with Lumineon V to something. So what do I want to grab here? I could go a little crazy. I could go really bizarro, grab, let me think, because Arven's, I can't take out the guy on the bench. Do I want to be really... Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go goofy, take a chance. I'm going to grab Bibarel. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get rid of their stadium, and I get rid of Lumineon V, because I didn't use the supporter, though, did I? So I'm going to get rid of Lumineon V. I'm taking a really risky play here. Probably really stupid, I got to say. And I want to keep the rods, so I want to grab... I get 4 cards, so hopefully I hit something. I hit Arven. Super, super awesome. So I now can... So I can now attack. I can't... okay, well, it's not terrible. Get rid of this and this. I will grab... I'm just going to attack. So, but I didn't have to play the Lumineon V, so I'm not sure that the risk paid off for me. If I had Prime Catcher, of course, that would be awesome. Don't have that, of course, so not happening. My energy state is... Just making sure. Okay, just always double checking. Like, occasionally I, grab the wrong card between Rare Candy and now this is a risk. This is a risk because they might just knock out my Charizard. And if they knock out my Charizard, I'm going to kind of cry. And there's a decent chance they can do that. So I might have put myself in a really bad spot. But anyway, just go ahead because I couldn't pull off the boss. What I wanted to do was get Charizard and boss, and I think I could have done that, but I couldn't have got the Pidgeot EX in play. And Pidgeot EX sets up the rest of my game. So, taking out the Gimmighoul would buy me a turn, but then I wouldn't really have any engine. I wouldn't have it because I wouldn't have the barrel either. So at this point, I have my engine all full set. So after they've taken 4 prizes, the Radiant Zard is very good. So I definitely want to keep him in mind as well. Right, there's a good look. In one hand sense, they don't have many energies in the discard pile. Okay, so they're getting their deck stacked with Cyphermax code breaking. So I think they're gonna knock me out, and that's bad. Let's be honest, that is bad. Did I discard the Radiant Zard? I did. So if they knock out my active, I think I rod back. What do I rod back? I do play the rod. I play the rod for sure. Now the nice thing is I do... Okay, so this gets them a whole bunch of energies, right? So this is a great card for this deck. which is why it now plays a weird mix of energies. It kind of wants to play, I guess, one of everything. You search your deck for any number of basic energies, different types, put them into your hand. They got 5, right? There's 8 types, so some are prized, or like the grass has been discarded, I guess. They probably have the one shot. That's not good, but I can hopefully win. Hopefully the fact that I have my engine set up means I can win. That's what I'm relying on. So I do 180 plus 60 is what, 240. So with Defiance Band, I do one-shot them, which is really important. So this is also, until they one-shot a Charizard, I can't one-shot them. So this should get them what they need for the knockout, because I got 5 energies there, and they're getting, what are they getting from the discard pile? 3 energies there. So they have 8 energies. Okay. Canceling Clone doesn't matter. Counter Catcher, which I'd like Counter Catcher for this deck, but don't have it. So I assume they got 3 energies. What did they grab? They're playing Pokestop as well. Okay. That's okay. Oh, I got rid of Pokestop last turn. All right, getting rid of 2 Goldengos is good, because they're going to have to recover a Goldengo probably over the course of this game. So they're going to knock me out. I take them out next turn. And they don't have another Gimme Ghoul down, so they can't really do anything next turn. That's the good news. So they're going to take me out, but then they're going to stall a turn. Right? So I've got to make sure I take them out this turn. That's easy. So I'll just send up Pidgeot EX, right? He's got free retreat, so I can always send him up. Makes things easy there. I think I want to... Okay, so I'm going to want to Nest. I want to thin my hand out. It's part of what I do. So I'm going to get him. Just want to keep thinning. So do I want to get 1, 2... I'm going to do another energy. I'm not sure what I need. This is where I didn't quite do... so I get down the Radiant Charizard here. Thinning my hand, because I draw cards. I need to hit something with Manaphy. That's the thing. I need to get another card. I could play the Switch card, but I might want that. So let's see what I hit there. Got a Charizard. Super awesome there, which then means I can grab a Rare Candy, and I can take the knockout. So super good there, right? So I need Rare Candy, right? I'm always like, wait, did I? And that's my last Rare Candy. I would have liked to have gotten something, my bench set up a little better. If they take out my active, though, I can take a prize with Radiant Charizard next turn. I need to start to, I would have liked to get another Charmander on the bench. So I just need, let me see, if they take 4 prizes, I just need 1 energy, I think, on the Zard. That's really what I want to do. So I'm going to just keep, I'm not going to waste energies. I might actually need 2 energies on the Pidgeot too as well. I have Boss for next turn. That's really nice as well. So I do believe I do take the knockout, right? 270, so super great there. Didn't have to use the Boss, so I have Boss for next turn. If they knock out my Charizard, I take out the Radiant. I attack with the Radiant Zard, so super nice there. I can now my Defiance Band doesn't work now, so but I have Boss. So at this point, I probably take out the Pheasantipity. Pheasantipity is good because they need to keep filling. They need to feed themselves, right? They need to keep just getting massive amounts of cards. Yeah, I like Goldengo a lot, so I'm gonna have to start working on that starter deck and just seeing how good that is. So they're gonna get 2 Gimme Ghouls down, I imagine. Oh, if they only get 1 down, then I'm gonna boss up the Gimme Ghoul if that's what happens here, right? And that's not good for them. Okay, they got Night Stretcher, so that's good for them for sure. How many? They might have to get back, use the Night Stretcher. They like to get that for energy. They also might need that for Goldengo, right? So I don't know if they can afford to use the Stretcher for another Gimme Ghoul. Oh, so Heavy Ball gets them a Gimme Ghoul. That's really good for them. So I'm gonna now gust up the Pheasantipity. And the thing is, if they then, because I still do enough to one-shot the Pheasantipity without the tool, right? The tool I have attached. I'm not going to lose the tool. I mean, they could Lost Vacuum it, but I'm no longer behind in prizes, right? So let me just double check here. So I'm going to drop him down. I think I want to take 2 prizes. I mean, Iono's not bad either, but yeah, this is pretty good. So what do I want to grab here? I want to grab something, right? It seems like I should always grab something. I'm just gonna, I have what I need. I'm gonna grab Trekking Shoes because I can thin my deck with that, right? Because I like what I have, and they might Iono me, which that's kind of annoying there. So I'll play the Trekking Shoes first. No, I don't need another Pidgey. I mean, I might, but Fire Energy is good there. I'm not going to attach the Fire Energy. I'm going to gust up the Pheasantipity, take him out. So it really makes their life much tougher to take out my Charizard. And I'm not going to attach my energy either. You know, it's the case where if they one-shot my Radiant Zard, I take the knockout with then I can attack with the Radiant Charizard, right? I mean, if they take out my Charizard EX, I attack with Radiant Charizard. I could have attached a second energy, but that doesn't help me really. You know, once they've taken 4 prizes, then I'm down to 1 fire energy to attack with. So there's no reason really to attach more energy. You know, if they took out like the Bibarel, then I could attack with. All right, so they had the Gold Dingo in hand. Were there 3 in the discard pile still? There are. So okay, so they've had 4 Gold Dingos in deck. None of them were prized. So that means they still have the Night Stretcher, which gets them back in energy probably. So they're going to force me to switch. I mean, that's fine. I guess. I assume they're going to force me to switch. I'll send up the Charmander, right? He's fine. And I'm glad I didn't attach the energy. He's the one I want to give up, right? Instead, they need to take out the Charizard, though, really, right? Although they know they lose, I don't think they can. I mean, I don't. You know, how could they not? How could they win? If they take out the Pidgeot EX, but then I one-shot them with I think either of my attackers. So I'm just going to send up the Radiant Zard and. You know, getting resources. Let's see, the Pheasantipity, they don't have prize. That's right. They want the Night Stretcher for the Pheasantipity as well. So getting back energies, 4 energies. They need obviously a lot. What do they need? Like 8 energies? Because what is it? 50 or 6. They need 7 energies. Sorry, 7 energies. 7 times 5 is 350. So it's looking. You know, this is a matchup I could definitely have lost, but yeah, things didn't go quite the way my opponent would have liked. So they're going to get the one shot here, it looks like. But it just makes them feel good, right? It gets them 2 more prizes. They'll lose. They'll have taken 4 prizes before the game ends. But I don't think there's any way they can stop me from winning, really, right? Here in this game, right? Yeah, I don't think there is. So, I mean, trying to get Bibarel stuck. But again, it wouldn't matter because I have a switch card and such. So... plus, I only need 1 prize card, so even if they weren't to take 2 prizes, and I would, you know, if they didn't take a prize, I can't take a knockout on the Goldengo this next turn. But that's okay because I just, you know, gust something up and take it out because I have access to boss. I didn't play the Pal Pad. I don't think I needed to. I'm just looking. 1 boss in the discard pile. But if I had 2 bosses, I would have probably Pal Padded the bosses back. So they take the knockout. Again, makes them feel good, but it doesn't matter. I'll promote the Radiant Zard because that's what I'm going to attack with. And he does 500 damage because they're weak to me. So easy peasy. I'll send him in the active. Normally you promote the Pidgey, but you know, this is fine. And I just go boom and boom, 500 damage, game over. And I could have gusted up something from the bench, no reason to do that. I could have evolved the Charizard. You know, I had so many good options that game. So the way it played out. So look, this deck, concluding brief thoughts, I do think this is definitely an improvement over the starter deck. Yes, can this deck be improved? It definitely can be improved beyond this. But this is, I think, the best it could be. I get level 10, and I do get now something other than coins when I get level up, so that's good as well. So look, are there better builds to this deck? Obviously, the question I'll put out there though, are there better ways to improve this deck just using cards from the starter deck? If you share your thoughts there, if you have any better ideas with the starter decks of how to approach this deck, I think this is a very good way to do it, and I certainly feel comfortable saying day one in live, build this deck, and you'll be glad to do it. So anyway, take care, play some Pokemon, and have some fun.